there's a lot more going on in El Salvador than a state of exception. I understand why that's captured so much of the news, but I think we're dealing with a government there that's also got some extremely ambitious and interesting plans for economic development in the country. They believe that they can leapfrog in terms of development using digitalization, using high tech, moving beyond what have traditionally been the important sectors for foreign direct investment in the country. And I think those extremely ambitious plans that they have are worth recognizing. And I think there are areas where we can collaborate. And frankly, I think there's a lot more opportunity for the U.S. private sector in El Salvador than is presently realized. I said earlier, I travel widely in El Salvador. I talk to people in the government. I talk to farmers in the fields, literally. I was just out Friday doing that. I haven't met anybody yet who is not happy about the current state of public security in the country, even those people who have reservations about the way it's being done recognize that this has been a game changer for El Salvador. For my part, I think we miss the point when we always start off talking about migration. We need to start off talking about education, investment, economic development, effective governance, public security, all of the things that you and I want here at home in the United States. It's the same thing Salvadorans want in El Salvador, I think. And that's what we need to be talking about. And that's where we need to be engaging. And I want to, one more time, we have an enormously important tool at our disposal in each of these countries, the three Northern Central American countries, and that is the H-2 visa program. And we are underutilizing that tool. El Salvador has one of the best workforces in the world, bar none. If you don't believe me, walk out of this building and walk around the Washington metropolitan area and see what Salvadorans have done in this country. 70% of the Salvadoran workforce is in the informal sector. They're looking for jobs. We need seasonal agricultural workers in the United States. We need tens of thousands more every year. We have to start encouraging U.S. agricultural employers to look to El Salvador. We have unique arrangements in these countries where USAID is working closely with the host governments to screen the workers, effectively doing the work of private sector recruiters in places like Mexico. There is an enormous advantage here. The actual cost of bringing a worker from El Salvador to the United States is not really very much more than bringing one for Mexico. And I could bore you by explaining the details because I used to be the consul general in Monterrey, Mexico, where we did 61% of all the H visas in the world. I'm telling you right now, we are failing to get the word out, and I'm going to do my part to change that. But there are plenty of Salvadorans who want to come up here and work seasonally. And why is that so important? It's important because it's a legal pathway. That's not why it's important, really. It's really important because those workers go back banked for the first time in their lives. They go back with their earnings in their hands. For them, that's capital. They're going to invest it. I do not know when El Salvador is going to put a man or a woman on the moon, but I know this. When that first Salvadoran astronaut gets to the moon, they will open a business. Because that's what Salvadorans do. And if we can get these H-2 workers in the circuit and going back with their earnings, they are going to open small businesses, and they're already doing it. I meet them. And that's going to create 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs over time. That's an enormous tractor for the Salvadoran economy. And we need to make sure that we're taking advantage of it and that Salvadorans are taking advantage of it.